Alright guys, so grab your popcorn, your tea, your coffee, your water, whatever it is you need to get comfy, and get comfy because it is ghost story time with May Bunny. Alright guys, so I'm here to bring you a super spooky ghost story. It is officially October 1st, so why not? And if you don't believe in paranormal stuff, you don't believe in ghost stories, why are you even here? Don't watch. And if you do, continue to watch because I think you might find it somewhat interesting. So basically my ghost story is something that I grew up with. So I know that sounds weird, but I grew up in a haunted house. Like, our house was haunted, like 24/7. It was spoopy all year round, okay? And it's odd because when you grow up in a haunted house, it's the norm, so you don't really find anything weird about it. I mean, you did have those occasional very scary moments that you're like, what is that, what is this? But you kind of got used to it, and that's sad to say, but you kind of get used to it. And it's just a disclaimer, I am not crazy, as far as all of you know. I might be, maybe, possibly. At least the doctors haven't diagnosed me as crazy, so we're good, I think. So the first story I'm going to tell you is about my version, or our Lady in White. I'm sure you've heard the Lady in White ghost story on like the Discovery Channel or just from somebody else. But we had our own Lady in White. And I do have plenty of these stories, guys. I know that sounds bad, so if you do like these kind of things, let me know and I'll continue to make this like into a little series. But our Lady in White, the reason why she's called the Lady in White is obviously because she's in white. But when you caught a glimpse of her either out of the corner of your eye or blatantly just seeing her, all you would see is the trail end of her dress or wedding dress, nightgown. I don't know what she was wearing. It was just white, and it had a very long trail at the end of it, almost like if it was a wedding gown. I've never seen a nightgown that had a trail like that, so I'm just going with wedding gown. I don't know, but it was very like silky, so I wouldn't really see why someone would wear a wedding dress that was silky, but that's none of my business, okay? You do you, girl. And the way the house was set up, that I grew up in, I'm very bad at describing house layout, so bear with me here. So you had the living room, and then you had the little wall and the doorway. On this side was my parents' bedroom, and then our bedroom, bathroom, and then against the wall was the door that went upstairs to the upstairs. If that makes sense. So when you caught a glimpse of her, it looked as if she had came out of my parents' bedroom and was going up towards either the bathroom or up the stairs. I don't know where she was going, but this girl was on repeat. So, you would always catch the glimpse of her dress, and, you know, it was nothing, like, ooh, terrifying at the time, but you grew up with it and you kind of seen it here and there, and the reason why we knew she was around, because anytime you caught a glimpse of her dress, you had this, I don't know how to describe it, guys, but if you could sniff a zombie, that's probably what she smelled like. We always called it the rotten eggs smell. I've never smelt rotten eggs, really, so I'm not sure. But it was like this really, what I would think rotten eggs would smell like, I guess I should say. It was very nasty, disgusting, and like almost wanted to make you vomit kind of smell. I'm not sure why she smelled like that, but she did. And I know that's weird to say that a ghost has a smell, but they do, apparently. And she definitely had one. So anytime you smelt that smell, because it was always random. It wasn't all, you know, you didn't always smell it in the house. It's not like our house had this nasty rotten smell or that we had a dead animal anywhere. You know, it wasn't like that. And it was always centered in one specific location. No, not always, but it would, where it popped up, it would only be in that location. So you could literally move away from that wherever she was, and you would smell it, and then you would move, and you wouldn't smell it. So it was very concentrated in whatever area that she happened to be in. So we kind of resonated that smell with her, because, you know, every time we seen her dress, we'd get that awful smell, or we would just smell her, and you wouldn't see her. So it was very, very strange. And this is where it gets a little odd. I know most of you probably think, oh, well, if she smelled that bad, she was probably demonic. I don't know if she was. I don't. But we had a hole in, not our roof, but since you had the upstairs, we had what we called a cubby hole that we stored extra stuff, but there was a hole above our washer and dryer where, you could see up in it. It wasn't like, we're gonna, rain is gonna come down and it's gonna flood the house. It was nothing like that. So, I digress. Anyways, and, it was always what I called the spooky hole, because you never wanted to look up there, but your brain kept telling you to look up there, and you're just like, I don't want to, and your brain's like, you do. So this is where it gets a little creepy. Now, I personally never saw her, like, her face. You always see the back of her, but my sister was the first one to see her, and my mother was the second one to see her, and I am glad that I never seen her, because the description of her, which I will give you, was really bad. And my sister's a really good artist, and I wish I still had the picture that she drew of her, because it's fucking creepy. Like, let's just be honest, it is not something you would want to see. So one night we were dyeing my sister's hair, and our kitchen's right off the laundry room, and there's no door for the laundry room, so you can just see right up in the hole if you wanted to. And we're just dyeing her hair, talking, laughing, chit-chatting, whatever, and my sister just happens to look over there. Well, I'm naturally already pale. My sister's a pale person. But when you can get paler than pale, that's what she got. She got straight white. And she shut up. She was just quiet. She didn't say anything. And my mom's like, what's wrong? She just sat there. And she was like, in shock. Like, you could tell. And you're like, well, we didn't say anything offensive. We didn't, there's no reason for you to be like that. But she was visibly scared. And she said, I don't want to talk about it. So we're like, okay, that's weird. So we went around, did our normal business, and, a few days or a week or so went by, and we're like, okay, whatever. My mom decides to go do laundry, because, it's her mother. She's the one that does the laundry. She goes and does the laundry. So she's doing the laundry, and something tells her, don't look up. And obviously, if you tell someone not to look up, their reaction is to look up. Well, something kept telling her, don't look up, and she's like, but I want to look up. Like, it was weird, like, part of her was telling her not to, because it knew it was there, but another part of her was telling her, do it, because you need to see this. And, lo and behold, she looks up, and here is what we consider the Lady in White, leaning out of this hole. Now this, like, I'm getting goosebumps right now because it terrifies me just to think that something like this, it's almost as if it came out of a horror movie. Like, that's how scary it was. And before you guys are like, oh, you sure they weren't just telling you this to scare you? We did not make up ghost stories in our house because we experienced them so much that was not something we did. We didn't purposely make up stuff because we already knew there were things in our house and we didn't want to, like, falsify anything, I guess you could say. And you could definitely verify this with my sister and my mother, which you'll probably never meet, but if you did, our stories definitely never change over the years, so that's how I put it as a factual thing, because usually if someone lies, it tends to change, and it's never changed every time they tell the story to me. And she looked up, and there she was, hanging, well, I wouldn't say crawling, but leaning down out of this thing, and my mother, obviously frightened, stopped doing laundry and left. She was like, oh no. And my mom's a super, super religious person, so she was obviously very like, this is not normal, this is something demonic, this is, I don't know, but she went and she was telling us the story, and my sister stops her and said, what does she look like? And my mom describes this, person, demon, whatever it is to her. And my sister had sketched her of what she's seen. And it happened to be exactly what my mother had seen. Now, the way I'm going to describe, the way they described it to me, is if you could see a very, very thin woman with her cheekbones, like, encaved. Is that a word? Encaved? Like they're caved in. Her hair longer but dripping wet, like the wet look, like as if, in other words, like a drowning victim, like someone that had drowned and had been decaying. That is what she looked like. And my mom described it as when she looked at you, it's like her eyes were piercing you, like they were going through you. And that's terrifying to me, and the sketch that my sister had is terrifying to me. I don't know if she still has it. If she does, I will try at some point to find it or have her give it to me and show you guys. But it was not, in my opinion, something I would want to see. Luckily, I never seen it. I don't plan on ever seeing it. I don't want to see it, and I don't think anybody else does. We still, to this day, don't know, because that was the last time we seen her, like, face to face, because like I told you guys before, we never seen her but the back of her. Luckily, I only ever seen the back of her, and that's how I'd like to keep it. So, you know, we were never terrified of her all this time because we're like, oh, she's just in a white dress and she smells bad. Like, okay, she's not doing nothing. Well, we underestimated that because apparently she's very not happy. So, I'm not sure if she's something that was malevolent, obviously, or if she really was just a ghost and that, you know. We thought for the longest time that she was just, you know, how they have those, what is the word for it, where ghosts just keep repeating the same action over and over and over. That's what we thought she was doing, that she was just constantly walking through the hall, repeating the same motion over and over and over. We never thought more about it. And we do think that she was linked to some of the other things, if she was, in fact, something that was malevolent and something that was not a good spirit or a demon or whatever you want to call it. But that's for another time. So that's all I really have to say about that story. It obviously got creepier every time we seen her gown, like her walking past, because now we knew what she looked like, and we're like, oh, bitch, you can stay in that hallway, we're good. But yeah, so that is my first ghost story for you guys. You can tell me what you think about it. Obviously, I know there's going to be skeptics, I know people aren't going to believe me, but it is what it is. You know, I grew up with these things, and I know what I know, and it doesn't really matter to me if other people believe it. I just think it would be fun to share. If you guys want to hear more ghost stories, let me know. I'm sorry that I kind of rambled on, and I know I talk fast, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you want to become a part of my ghoulish army and continue to see videos like this, make sure you subscribe. Definitely give this video a like so that I know you guys like this kind of stuff. And leave me a comment about your own ghost experiences or what you think. If you think I'm completely nuts, go ahead and tell me. But I will see you guys hopefully soon, and I hope I can continue to haunt your dreams in the near future. But I'll see you in the next one. Bye.